Welcome once again to my channel, Intimate Conversations with Francis O'Brien, healing one heart at a time. It's a fabulous day today. Why, do you ask? Because it's a holiday. Yay! This is the part where I really wish I had the graphics to add that celebratory voiceover or sound. I think that they do, that you can get online. I've been trying to look for it and I can't find it, but whatever. So happy Women's Day. It's a National Women's Day holiday here in South Africa. So I just want to say happy Women's Day to all my sisters, my grandmothers, my mothers, my aunties, my cousins. I just want to say happy Women's Day. There's a lot that's celebrated about women. There's a lot of accomplishments. There's a lot of women that have paved the way for us now as in this generation. There's a lot of doors that have been opened for us in politics, opened for us in the world of technology, opened for us in the world of engineering, in the world of arts, in the world of law. And there is just a lot that women have accomplished over the years, over generations and generations, over time, right? Even from the Bible, women have been inspirational. And as you listen to me, woman, as you listen to me, sister, I will call you my sister. I just want to celebrate you. If nobody has ever celebrated you, I want to celebrate you. And my key line is you are enough. You are enough. If nobody tells you that, I am telling you that. But my word is not the final word. The final word comes from God Almighty, and He says that you are wonderfully and fearfully made. So whatever it is that you're going through, my sisters, whatever it is that you feel is just a monstrous task or a monstrous problem that won't go away, you are strong enough. You are strong enough to handle it. And if you aren't strong enough, look for fellow sisters close to you that you are comfortable confiding in, that you are comfortable communicating with. And we are very strong as women when we come together. We are a formidable force, and there's a lot that we can accomplish as women and sisters when we decide to put our heads together and come together and make a difference and to make a change. So once again, happy Women's Day. And I'm very excited because it's a Friday, which means we have a long weekend. Yay! This is the part where I wish I could enter the celebratory voiceover. But I'm going to get better, guys. I'm going to get better. So work with me. I'm excited because it's been a while, I must say, that I have recorded content. And the reason is because, like I always say, I'm trying to find the perfect time for me to record. And most times, there's just a lot of distracting sounds. If it's not planes flying, then it's neighbors blasting music, and it gets very difficult. I just recently got a camera. It was a birthday gift. I'm not going to tell you from who, but I recently got a camera, so I've been really learning a lot and trying to get and find the perfect setting and to find the appropriate place to prop up and start getting really beautiful content. But I must say, shout out to the Huawei company, because my phone is just doing absolutely great. It captures the perfect sound, it captures the perfect lighting, and I think the camera quality is absolutely on point. So yeah, I'm just grateful for the gifts that I've been given, and I have been quiet for a while, and sometimes you do get to lose your mojo, but for the most of it, I think it's because of the distracting sounds that I've just been, experiencing in the place that I live. But how are you guys? How have you been? A few people have been sending me messages on my YouTube channel, and I do try to respond. So thank you so much for showing me so much love. I'll give a shout out to Earth Child's mom, if I got it right, and I did. If I didn't get it right, please forgive me. Thank you so much for sending a message to me, and thank you for giving me encouragement, and thank you for sharing the fact that you can relate to most of the content that I'm sharing with you. So I want to say thank you so much, and please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. That way you make sure you don't miss any of the content that I will be uploading on my channel. Stay blessed in Jesus' name as you listen to what I have to share with you today. And please don't blast me, man. Women, I don't know if you ever feel like this. Sometimes you just don't feel like makeup, but you can just put on an eyebrow. You know what I'm saying? And then there are days where you feel, okay, I don't feel like makeup, meaning foundation, but I feel like a lippy. And you won't go for a normal lippy, like a nude lippy, you'll go for color. Or some days you'll feel like I just want the eye makeup, but no foundation. Today was one of those days, so please don't come at me, don't blast me. I really feel comfortable with my look. This is one of those days when you really just, uh, no shade. But anyway, I've got a very interesting topic, especially for my sisters, as usual. I always have very interesting topic for my sisters, and especially, and also for my brothers. So sisters, if you do have dudes out there, if you've got brothers, cousins, uncles, dads, and you feel like this is the kind of content that they may be interested in, please do share this video with them, and I feel that they will be enlightened by it, and they will be aware that we are aware of some of the things that they do, or that go on in their minds, that they may not be comfortable sharing. So today's topic is, and I have to have a little dramatization because I'm hoping this is going to be my thumbnail. So this is the part where I'm going to pose, and the topic is, man, why won't you commit? So that's what it is. Man, why won't you commit? And I know the ladies are like, yes, I want to know. Why won't this guy commit? After I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I know what it's like. So we've got a lot of questions, and we wonder why it is that our brothers don't seem to commit, especially the ones that we're in a relationship with. As I said, and I've always said before, I concentrate particularly on this show on healing, and I have to identify the issues. And some of these things that I talk about are issues that affect us as women in our relationships, and they may cause us to break, they may cause us to doubt ourselves, they may cause us to doubt our self-worth, to question rather our self-worth, to question our self-esteem. And I don't want that to ever happen to any sister who's listening to me. I want you to be a confident and a bold woman, and to know that, like I say, you are enough. So let's get on to the topic of today. I've got my book ready with all my notes, so I'm going to be sharing what I have today. So this topic actually came to me, I think, not last week, but about 2 weeks ago. It was on a Saturday morning, and I was in my balcony. And, I was just standing and I was looking because I've got a really nice view. I hope one day I'll do a vlog, and I'll just show you the view from my balcony, where I'm able to see quite a wide stretch of land, and, what can I say, like the city to a certain extent, suburbs, and all the surrounding areas. So it's a really nice view. So I recall, as I was standing on my balcony, I'm thinking, why is it that men don't commit? Is that random? I would be thinking, when am I going to get my new car? But for the purposes of my content, as I said, like I always say, it's important to walk in your purpose. And when you walk in your purpose, you're passionate about it. So I'm passionate about people. I'm passionate particularly about relationships, but I'm particularly passionate about healing in relationships, which I think is really important. So I'm thinking, I wonder why men don't commit, and what are the reasons for men not committing. And then I came to the realization, women, don't shoot me for this, but this is where I'm always going to be honest. I came to the realization that yes, men have their reasons for not committing, but women also have their contributing reasons or factors to men not committing to them in relationships. And, I know a lot of women that are really going through a lot of stressful time and thinking, but Francis, how could you say that it's us? We always put our best foot forward. No, ladies, we think we put our best foot forward. So today I'm going to be addressing the reasons that men don't commit, and then in a different video I'm going to be addressing the reason, the contributing, I think, reasons to men not committing in relationships. So we need to just, as women, stop pointing fingers and just blaming the men when we too are contributing to these men not committing. But today, let's do what? So listening to a lot of women, or rather listening to a lot of men and their reasons, as well as my own reasons and my personal experiences, I've come up with a few factors. And I'm going to be brutally honest. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but this is from my personal observation. And if I've left anything out, ladies, please, or even men, please feel free to add in any pointers, especially in the comment section below, and just tell me the reasons that you feel that this is why I don't commit. But I've just covered at least 10, and I'll expand on these 10, and then we can get to talk about some of these reasons. So number one, the number one reason a man will not commit is a man with no visions or goals will not commit to a woman, and this may be for a number of reasons. Now, you know, as women, we all have these lists. We have these lists as women. Now, I want a man who's tall. I want a man who's got a certain qualification. I want a man with a certain job. I want a man with a certain income bracket. I want a man with a certain appearance, whether he's dark chocolate, or whether he's light, or whether he is short, or whether he is tall. We all have lists as women. And I think sometimes men get very irritated with our lists because, and I think sometimes we shortchange ourselves as women because we may have the perfect guy, but he may not come in the perfect package. This is the part where it says don't judge a book by its cover. So just because a man doesn't come painted the way you have on your particular list does not mean he doesn't have the qualities that you're looking for in your ideal man. But that's not what I'm talking about today. So number one, a man with no visions or no goals will not commit to a woman. Now, in my relationship, like I said, I will always use myself as a reference or point of reference. In my relationship, my partner had no vision and he had no goal. And why I can comfortably and confidently say that is because when we would have the serious talks, and I would question him and ask him, where do you see yourself in 2 years' time? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Now, to give him a bit of space to work on himself, I would broaden the time frame. And this is on me. Bear in mind, this is on me. It's not on him. So in my mindset, I've set a time frame for him in my questioning. So I would ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Then he's like, yeah, I see myself, better than I am now. And I'm like, okay, I think everybody wants that, but in what sense do you want to be better than you are now? What is it? Is it in terms of a profession? Is it a job, income, children? Like, what is it? Yeah, all of those things was the response. And I'm like, okay, but we need to be serious and break it down because I want to understand. Now, remember in one of the videos, I gave the analogy of a woman having tools and she has to know the right partner. And how she will know her right partner is the tools that she has. Then you will know the right partner. Now, all of us as women are equipped with specific tools to assist our partners because we're helpers, as the Bible says. Now, if you don't know the tools that you have, unfortunately, you will be paired with somebody that will not make use of your tools adequately. And as a result, there will be no progress in the journey of life as a couple. Now, when I realized this, which was quite a few years into the relationship, I really began to stress and I began to worry. And I'm like, how does a man not have any visions or goals? Because I've always known guys around me, whether they were friends or even, family, that had a goal and they would like, if I want to do this and by this time, and you can see this person working really hard to achieve that. But then when it came to me, I'm like, but sometimes I would say it, but not often. And I'd say, but how is it that I don't see you particularly working towards achieving something? Is it that you're not doing it or you're not interested in doing it? Or is it that you are doing it in secret and you don't want me to know about it? And it's like, yeah, no, I am. And then he would get irritated with my questioning, which was a bit also dicey. I'm not even going to get into that. So a man's upbringing, like I said, there are a few factors under a man with no vision or goals that can affect him not having a vision or a goal. And number one is his upbringing. Perhaps he was raised that a man has no responsibilities, and this may be typical of a man who came from a single parent home where he was raised by his mother. And he feel that a woman is the provider and he doesn't have to do much, and that affects his sense of responsibility. And you would think women, this is like the reverse effect. It happens with very few men, where I will say to you, when a boy child has his mother as the single parent, The boy child is used to the mother working hard and the mother providing everything that he needs. This is automatically embedded in his brain that a woman should be a provider. It's very difficult for him to get out into the world and see it different, because children learn by seeing what their parents do, not by hearing what their parents say. And this is very important for you to understand. So if you're constantly doing something, it's a pattern, and the child automatically adopts that. Now, when a boy child sees his mother always, providing, cooking, cleaning, working, buying, he is now used to the fact that women are hard workers and women are providers, and this is what they need, because he always had his mother as a source of provision. Now, when he gets to the dating stage of his life or looking for a partner, that's where the comparison comes in. And he's like, yeah, but my mother doesn't do this. My mother does that. My mother never used to do this. My mother always used to do this. Then this is where we answer as women, hey, I'm not your mother. You need to go and marry your mother if that's who you want to be with. Obviously, that's not really a polite way of saying it, but because you feel like you've been disrespected as an individual, especially as a woman, then obviously you'd utter such statements. So it's very natural for a man to feel that the woman is the one who's supposed to provide. His upbringing has wired him to think that when I have a woman, the woman should do everything. Now, there was one dodgy thing that my partner once said to me, and that was an alarm bell, which I actually ignored, but the Holy Spirit kept reminding me of what this man had said. He had gone to church when he was young, way before we even met, and he was told or prophesied to by a pastor to say that it is a woman that is going to help you in this life. Now, he must have interpreted as I need to sit and my woman is going to do everything for me. So when he met me, there was an expectation of you must. And I used to be like, but it's not supposed to be like that. And he would not understand that, because what was spoken into his life gave him the impression that the woman is supposed to do everything, which was a very difficult thing to undo, I must tell you, considering the fact that he came from a home that had both parents and his father was a provider. But because his prophecy came into his life, he took it in the negative way. And when I heard this from him, I said to him, but don't you see it in the sense that perhaps when you are working and achieving what you need to achieve, perhaps you will be linked with women who are in influential positions that may help open doors for you. That's how I received that prophecy. Then he was like, oh, well, yeah, maybe it's that. So a man's upbringing may affect. I'm not saying that all men are like that, but you tend to really have this problem with men who come from single parent homes, particularly when it's the women that raise them. And then part two, under a man with no vision or goals, is his insecurities. A man who lacks a sense of confidence may find it very hard to lead a home. Now, if a man has also been stripped of all sense of responsibility, even as a child, it's very difficult for that man to become a responsible individual or responsible man in his home, let alone society. So when he doesn't have that sense of responsibility, he lacks a confidence. And when he lacks a confidence, he lacks a goal, he lacks a vision, because he's not a... This is why it's important to give your children responsibility. Responsibility builds a child's confidence. It makes them very confident in the task that you have given them, in the chore or the assignment that you have given them, because that way they take accountability for it, that way they take responsibility for it, and that way they can plan as to how to achieve that chore or assignment or task that you've given them. And this may be obviously on an adolescent level, but now we're talking what you are instilling or embedding in your children that's going to help them become much more responsible adults when when they've grown up. Now, it's very important that a man who lacks confidence is not going to lead his home. He's going to get to a point where he's always asking for his wife or his woman's opinion. So before he makes the final decision or the final say, thank God for churches. Thank God for support groups, because these kinds of issues are addressed. And now it's a problem again if the man doesn't have a sense of confidence and he doesn't even want to commit to a support group. He doesn't even want to commit to a church group or a church gathering or even a men's group where he can hear different kinds of men's opinions and stuff. And also, his circle of friends may also influence your man into not having a vision or goals. Maybe his friends are very superficial. Maybe his friends are, what you call this, friends that just believe in the here and the now. That will definitely impact your relationship, and it's going to definitely be one of the contributing factors to a man not committing to you in your relationship. So that was point number one. Point number two is of a man not committing to to you as a woman is unemployment. Now this plays a huge role because a man is defined by his purpose and his craft. That one, ladies, you must understand that a man is defined by his purpose and his craft. When a man cannot provide for his family, he feels inadequate, and most men want to be the provider and they want to make their partners happy. And when they don't, it leaves them helpless and useless. And unfortunately, dependency on the circumstances of the man's joblessness, disrespect seeps in. And it's inevitable. Let's just call a spade a spade. It is inevitable. Once again, my relationship, my partner was unemployed. When a man is unemployed, there is no way he can provide for what you need. And it makes him feel inadequate. It makes him really feel useless. That's if the man has a conscience. That's a different story altogether. There are men who are unemployed and you can see they're making an effort at finding work, and then there are men who are unemployed and they feel no guilt at all being jobless or being unemployed. I will take this back to the Bible. Before Adam met Eve, he was roaming in the garden. And I take the story from the late, great Dr. Miles Monroe. He was roaming the Garden of Eden, and he was given tasks and he was given assignments, and he had a purpose. He was told to name animals. He was told to name everything on the land and in the sea. That was a purpose. He had something to do. Now, if you're going to name something, that means you're going to be busy about the thing you've just named. You're going to learn it, you're going to understand it. That is the same with me now. If I am busy with intimate conversations with Francis O'Brien, I will learn it and I will be busy on it because I have a purpose on it. Now, if a man does not have that, it gives him a sense of inadequacy, which is a very detrimental type of aspect to a man in his daily living, because if he does not have that, he will not commit to you in a relationship. And most men have this notion that if I don't have any money, why would I be in a relationship? That's some men, because they believe that they're providers and they want to provide for their partners and they want to provide for their family. And unfortunately, if you get a man that is not employed and he is being looked after by his partner, if he does not take active responsibility in finding employment, the partner will feel the weight of the world on her shoulders, literally, in the sense of bills, in the sense of responsibilities, in the sense of raising the children and stuff like that. And when she is not met with some of those responsibilities, she will begin to feel taken advantage of and taken for granted, and she will be disrespectful to her husband or to her boyfriend. So it's very important for women to understand that when a man is not employed, he will not commit to you in that relationship. And women, sometimes I wish we would give them that space to say, you know what, maybe you need to find yourself. And if I'm what you're looking for, then hopefully if that's what God has planned for us, then we will be together. But if not, let's call a spade, and this is not going to work. Now, I'm not driving so much at the point that we must be moved by money and stuff like that. No, but this is life and this is reality. We have to eat. We have to pay for the roofs over our heads. We have responsibilities. So we cannot live in a dream world of thinking, no, honey, I will carry everything by myself and I will do everything by myself and it will be just fine. That is a facade that you are painting to yourself as a woman, and I will tell you that as a fact. Now, just to flashback, sometimes I know, I know that there's a popular expression that says love covers all. You don't eat love. I hope I'm making sense. You don't eat love. When you are hungry and somebody says, I love you, I don't think you will care about that person's love when your abdomen is empty. That's the point I'm trying to drive at. So it's important for your partner to make sure that he or she meets you halfway. In this case, men, he needs to meet you at your point of need, and he needs to support you. And you need that, because when things happen, when children get hurt, medical bills come in and somebody has to pay for that. That's the world that we live in now. When the cupboard is empty, the children are opening their little mouths and they're expecting their parents to feed them. This is where I'm driving at. So ladies, please know, especially if he's a responsible man, he's not going to commit to you in a relationship. And don't try and be his savior, women, and think that, yes, I'm going to lift him, I'm going to boost him, I'm going to start a business for him. First of all, you want to start a business for him. Are you sure that he even knows the business that he's delving himself into? I'm saying this because I'm coming from a point of experience. I also invested in my partner when he said that he wanted to start a business, and he had no clue and no knowledge of it. And because I was young and naive, I didn't have the time and the patience to sit down and completely analyze the situation in its totality as to the gravity of the commitment I was making financially, intellectually, emotionally. So it's important for you to make sure that you iron everything out and you make sure that you have a clear understanding. If you really feel that you have the money, women, to support this man in starting a business, for him to be occupied in his purpose, then make sure that the two of you have the best understanding of the situation you're both hopefully getting yourselves into. So that's number 2. Unemployment is a contributing factor as to why a man will not commit to you. Number 3, when a man feels like he's being taken for granted. Now, you know, I have seen a lot of relationships, and I have seen unbelievable women that just do the most unbelievable things. But the funny thing is, as life would have it, those women actually have relationships, which is really odd. But let's go ahead, because that's a conversation for another day. So there are a lot of good men out there. Women, please know that there are a lot of good men out there. Oh, that bird. You know, when that bird squawks by, I feel like I wish I had a catapult and I would stand like this evil child and, and then just launch my stone or my pebble and just, knock that bird. That squawking gets to me. So forgive me if you hear any squawking. This is the kind of sounds I was talking about. It's inevitable. So there are a lot of good men out there, ladies, and men with the best intentions for their partners. Exist, and men who work hard to do their best to provide for their families. And then you get women who just have a demand and expect attitude. And unfortunately, a lot of men have found themselves paired with such women. Yes, men are providers, so he will do his part, but that doesn't mean a woman should just sit and fold her arms and, expect him to do everything. If a man picks, if a man picks them up, then he won't commit. Meaning, if he picks up that kind of woman, he's not going to commit to that kind of woman because he sees a demanding woman in you. I have met women, yeah, live. There are some women who just can't function without a man. They can't drive themselves. They can't go out anywhere. They can't do anything. Literally, they sit. The man will be the one doing absolutely everything. And the woman just sits there and she folds her hands like, yeah, he's a man. He must do it. He must do it. That's his job. And I sit there and I look at these women like, okay, but what's your part? Like, what do you play? The last time I checked, a helper is not a maid. And a helper means you have your own contribution to make to somebody's life. Particularly in this case, hopefully it's your husband. You have a part to play. There are really good men out there that make sure that there's food in the house, that make sure that the bills are paid, that make sure that there's gas or fuel in the woman's car, that make sure that the children are taken care of, school fees are paid, the children are well clothed, well fed, and probably go to good schools. And there are women who are just like, even if they work, Not 1 cent comes out of their account to pay for any bill whatsoever. Now, I'm speaking with the exception that the man says he's going to do everything, which at this day and age is very rare unless you've married a millionaire. Kudos to you. But in the real world where the majority of us live, both incomes are necessary to keep the home or the keep the household running effectively, especially like a well-oiled machine. Both of us have to be contributing financially. Both of us have to be contributing intellectually. Both of us have to be contributing spiritually. Both of us have to be contributing emotionally. That's why I said when you get into a marriage or relationship, you really have to have those four particular pointers on check. The level of those must be on high in terms of your maturity. You must be aware of what you're getting into financially, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, and all else. And even physically. So some women even rely on their partners to book their hair appointments, nail appointments, because they just won't do it. If he wants me to look like this, then he must put his foot in it. He must make sure that he, calls my. And I'm like, but really, woman. Then I ask myself, I don't ask these women, if this man were to die, would you really function? Let's be real. Sisters, let's be real. If this man were to die, would you really function when you sit there and you don't make any contribution? This is obvious. This point is obviously with an exception that you are taking your man for granted. Now, men do see that because I have been around men who sit and have conversations like, my woman she doesn't do anything, and I'm getting tired and I'm exhausted because she just doesn't do anything. She wants me to do everything. Some men even go as far as doing all the housework. It's just unbelievable what some people, go through in their relationships, which is where I came with the mindset that I will never envy a couple. Never. Because I don't know what you people do behind closed doors. I don't know what that man tolerates. I don't know what that woman tolerates. Every couple have their relationship based on their own foundation. Whatever it's built on is entirely up to them. So never ever envy somebody's relationship. You don't know. You may see the woman outside in the house. Maybe it's a get together and it's a party and she's running around and she's getting a plate. Oh baby, here's your food, nah. And then when you get home, when the couple gets home, she's like, yeah, all that stuff that you saw me doing there, you can forget it. It's not going to happen. And the man is the one running the bathroom, bathing the kids, and doing that. I'm not saying there shouldn't be shared responsibility, but you don't know what people endure behind closed doors. If there's anything I can ask women to take from this video, do not envy anybody's relationship. You don't know what people go through behind closed doors. Please always have that at the back of your mind. It's crazy. It's crazy. So men will not commit to you, woman, when they feel that you're taking them for granted. Please don't take your husbands for granted. If you're married, please don't take your husbands for granted. There's a lot of women out there who are looking for men. And if they just show an ounce of appreciation towards that man, sister, you're walking on very icy ground. Very, very, very. Right. That's number 3. When a man feels like he is taken for granted, he is not going to commit to you in a relationship. So pointer number 4, which a lot of men do not like absolutely, is disrespect. Men need respect. Yeah. No, I just had a flashback. As I was thinking of Dr. Miles Monroe's preaching when he said men need respect. They do need sex, but men need respect. They really do. I'll expand on this. So on the aspect or the point of disrespect, one thing I've learned over the years is that the one thing that men need other than sex is respect. Men need to be respected. This barking at men, answering them as if he's nothing, is not on. Ladies, it is not on. Now, this is obviously particularly directed to men who are doing their best to pull their weight. Sometimes women will say, you ain't ish, or you think this is your best. Those kind of comments, like when a man does something for you, there's something in my eye or across my face. It's like a strand of hair and it's irritating me. So if you see me doing this, I'm really trying to find the strand of hair and it's irritating me. So anyway, the 2 things that we like saying, you ain't ish, or so this is your best. And at times, men can be like children and really crave your praise, your respect, and your acknowledgement. And this goes both ways, FYI. But I think a lot of women don't know that men really need respect. Some women are disrespectful to their men, their husbands, particularly. So if you're in a relationship and you're wondering, why won't this man respect me? I mean, why won't this man commit to me? Ask yourself what the one thing is that he complains about that you haven't changed and he still keeps lamenting over it. That's the one area that can give you a hint as to what to change. There are sisters out there that are disrespectful. Some sisters are so disrespectful, you can hear how they speak to their partners on the phone. You can see and hear how they treat and speak to their partners one-on-one, and they have no shame. Sometimes they'll do it right in front of you, like right in front of you. If you're a good friend and you see your friend going out of line and talking to her partner in a disrespectful way, pull her aside and say, babe, did you really have to do that? Did you really have to do that? I mean, why didn't you pull your partner aside and just at least tell him, at least respect him in front of me? I mean, you can't talk to him like that. I mean, it's really not on. Sisters put each other in check, really. Sometimes they're like, well, that ain't my business. If that's what is, if he ain't complaining, then I ain't gonna complain. Just because you're quiet doesn't mean it's right. So don't keep quiet when you see stuff like this. Ladies, we must be honest with each other. And it's not nice. And I've seen this before. It's not nice when you see a man being disrespected by his woman, or a boyfriend being disrespected by his girlfriend. The look on his face is a look of defeat and a look of pure embarrassment. He becomes so helpless. Like they get into this mode where they're like little boys, little children that have been reprimanded. And to see a grown man behave like that, it's not nice. It's not nice to witness. So, ladies, if you do that, please don't. I'm really asking you not to do that. Don't disrespect your partners, particularly in public. Disrespect also can go both ways. It can also happen even in behind closed doors. You can disrespect your partner just when it's the two of you. Don't get it twisted. Disrespect doesn't mean it's public. It can also be very private. How you talk to him, how you treat him is important. And men really need your respect. And when they don't feel respected, especially by their partners, he won't commit to you. And some men may tell you, sometimes, and men are very cautious, especially when they know their partners. They're very cautious about how they lay their complaint. I'll put it that way. They know maybe you're a hot-tempered or a foul-mouthed person, example. So they will really tread on eggshells to try and get their point across. Ladies, this is where discernment is important, and I spoke about discernment in a previous video. Discern that my man is being serious about this and he's being cautious, and this is something that worries him. So I need to be careful. I need to absorb what he's telling me and act on what he's telling me, because this is important to him. The same way you want him to value what you say and how you feel is the same way you need to value what he says. Value what your partner says. So that's point number 4, disrespect. Point number 5, you don't fit his description of the woman or the perfect woman. Now, men know that we women have lists. Tall, dark, and handsome happens to be mine. What's yours? I'm just pranking around. I'm pranking around. No, but I'm serious. Tall, dark, and handsome is my spec. But, and he must have a certain qualification. He must, have a certain income bracket. He must be of the stature in society. Men also have these lists, believe it or not. Some want fair-skinned chicks, or they call them yellow bones. Some want, melanin chicks, very dark chocolate-skinned, complexioned chicks. Some guys want chicks who are celebrities, people who are movers and shakers in society. Some men want women who are just ordinary, plain Janes, stay-at-home moms. Some guys want career-driven women, the women that are out there in the work, in the work field, that are being formidable forces. So men also have their expectations. Now, if you don't fit that, his list, he will not commit to you. And honestly, women, we take offense when we're being told, yeah, you're not light enough for me or you're not dark enough for me. That's where some of us, if he happens to say that, that's why you see the bleaching industry booming, because we are trying to live up to these men's desires because they feel like light-skinned women are more attractive, white-skinned women are, I mean, light-skinned women are more opportuned, they have more privileges and stuff like that. So we feel, oh, maybe I should be lighter, then I'll be more desirable. But so a man, you shouldn't have to change who you are, especially if it's not in your best interests. And I use that sentence very mildly. If it's for the improvement of yourself and your relationship, then kudos. But if you are ruining yourself to make somebody else happy to accept you, then that's a no-no. That's how you tell the difference. So, some men just want a great cook. Some men want a woman who loves kids. And some men also tell themselves that my mother must love my woman. And if she doesn't, I'm not committing to this female because my mom don't like her. Okay, I don't know what the dramatization was, but it kind of blended, don't you think? But anyway, now you may be a great woman. You may be a really great woman. You may be a great cook. You may even be great in bed. You may be great with kids. But either you're too skinny, or you're too dark, or you're too short, and he won't pick you. Now, this is the part, ladies, where you will know that somebody loves you or not. Every one of us has shortcomings. Every one of us, men and women, we have shortcomings. You will never get your perfect person. I want you to understand. But you can get the perfect person for you. So society will paint a six-pack chiseled dude with I don't know, maybe a goatee or bald head or whatever, this, pumping iron and and he's got a day job or he's an entrepreneur and stuff like that. Society may paint that. But you may get a guy who's really short and probably not really attractive, and he is very successful at work, he's very loving, then that's your man. That is your man. Not everything we want comes in the package we want. And I think God he is absolutely a master designer. I think he's a comedian because he's teaching us a lesson to learn to accept people for the way they are. Let's not paint people the way we want them to be. They are perfect the way he made them. You just need to find the one that's suitable for you. Now, this is what comes into play. What is important to you? Is his appearance important to how he compared to what he makes you feel and how he values, treats, and respects you? Or is it the opposite? This is where we must sit as ladies and really ascertain what's important. Now, if you're way mature in your life, really by the time you've hit your 30s, you should have come to the realization, hopefully, that you cannot be investing in outward appearance. The same with me. If a man looks at me, I don't want him to see just the outside appearance. I've got a lot of things in me that I can contribute to a man or contribute to a relationship. I don't want to be judged on face value. So what we're doing as women is we're judging these men on face value, and we're missing our Boazes because we have this picture in our minds. Now, going to men, you're also missing your Ruths. When you paint a perfect woman, you wanted to have perky breasts. I'm sorry, my brothers, gravity takes place. When you plant a bun in this oven, I will bake it, it'll come out, and it's going to stain the body. Some stains won't come off, which is stretch marks, which is a hanging belly, or a faux pas, as they call it, faux pas, whatever it is. My breasts are going to go south. I'm not going to be perfect for you, my brother. I'm not. The same way you met me, I will not be like that. Unfortunately, childbirth gravely alters a woman's body. And when sometimes, guys will pass these really ugly remarks to say, well, I don't like you because, your body's changed, stuff like that. Excuse me, I've had children with you. That's why my body has changed. So you'll see women, working out and they want to look sexy because their husbands are complaining that, baby, this is not how I met you. Unfortunately, your guys' bodies don't change because of due to childbirth and pregnancy and all those hormonal changes. Our bodies do. Brothers, I'm asking you kindly to stop bashing your women's bodies. I understand if it's a health risk. I understand if it's, beginning to be an inconvenience in the home when the woman is no longer as active because she's unhealthy and she's overweight and you're genuinely concerned for her health. That's different. But if you're going to be comparing your body, your woman's body, to Giselle Bundchen and Naomi Campbell, who seem ageless, bruh, I don't have those genes. Point blank, period. I ain't got no genes like that. So women, that's another thing. Men do have their vision. So if you're not the woman that he wants, then he will not commit to you. Now that's superficial stuff. Then you've got stuff like morals and values. And if you don't have the right morals and values that the man is looking for, then he also won't commit to you. If you don't have the faith that he has, then he won't commit to you because maybe there'll be a clash of religions, a clash of faiths, and then he feels that it's going to be a problem in the long term, so he will not commit to you. So that's point number 5. Point number 6, ladies, believe it or not, men act like they don't have emotions. I'm sorry, when TD Jakes came out with the emotions, look, I've always known that men have feelings. It just happen to be very good at not expressing them or not knowing how to express them. But if you learn your dude well enough, you will know that he actually has, he has emotions. He's human after all. Men are equally affected by bad relationships. They're equally affected. It's just that they get over it a whole lot quicker than we women do. So, point number 6 is past relationships where they got badly hurt may make a man not commit to you. Now, I'm going to read this because it's an interesting little insert that I wrote. So, yes, ladies, men do have feelings and emotions, and even though they aren't the best at expressing them, usually when a man has met a woman he thinks is right for him, she is not in the right frame of mind to settle down, and she will be having her own reasons. As a result, once he's disappointed by her, he goes into the player mode, and the assumption that almost all women are the same is sets in mind, leaving a string of broken hearts. And what I've come to realize is that men get really torn apart by one breakup. I repeat, what I've realized is that men get really torn apart by one breakup, while women can seem to take a series of breakups and still keep searching for love. So, past relationships, truth be told, do affect brothers. I've spoken to a number of men, and they always have this one chick that they talk about. There's always this one, and they can't get her out of their minds, and it's something that they can't seem to get over, and they kind of brood over this chick, and as much as they may not talk about it, there is already a comparison bar set. So any chick that comes in that is not the same as that one, or is the same as that one that broke his heart, then he won't commit to you. Because to a certain extent, he's finding a replacement. That's another interesting topic, because that's something I discovered, I think, late last year. Men get hurt. They do get hurt. And as a result of that hurt by this one woman, they get into player mode and they don't commit to any woman as a result. So every other woman who comes in is probably the same as the one that broke his heart. So he won't commit and he won't be serious, and he's not going to go out of his way to try and make the relationship work. If he feels that you're becoming too much stress, girl, gone, next. Which is sad, but that's for you to understand, women. So sometimes if you really want to, if you're really caring and you want to know, like, babe, is there anything that you want to share? Like, what are your past relationships like? Sometimes some people feel like they don't care. Some people feel like they do care. They want to know. Those are interesting conversations that you can have with your partner to say, have you had any bad breakups in the past? And what was the reason for your breakup, if you don't mind sharing? And ladies, don't push it. If he doesn't want to share with you, leave it alone. Maybe it was really personal to him and is not ready to divulge. Let it go. Which is an art. I must tell you, letting go is an art for women. But that's point number 6. Men who have experienced bad breakups in the past will not commit to you. Number 7, when men don't feel appreciated. When men don't feel appreciated. Some men go over and beyond for their women, but some women just don't appreciate what their men do for them. Men love to be appreciated and praised. It makes them feel like they are doing an absolutely great job at making their partners happy. I can't say more than this. Women, you need to learn to appreciate your man. Learn to appreciate him. Learn to compliment him. If he does something, say it and say, thank you so much for doing this for me. I appreciate it. Or you could say, I love you because you're a very caring person. I love you because you're a kind person. Or when he does something nice, these are one of the reasons why I love you. These are one of the reasons why I appreciate you. Now, when they don't hear that, some men don't take it nicely because they feel like they're not doing enough and they still want to do more and do more. And you get those women, it goes back to the point of taking your partner for granted. You get those women like, I'm not going to say thank you. This is his job. He's supposed to do that. Why should I say thank you? He's a human being. He is a human being. Learn to say thank you. Learn to appreciate somebody. Honey, I appreciate the breakfast you made today. Excuse me. Honey, I appreciate the bed that you made. Yes, it goes both ways. Men should also appreciate their wives when they do certain things. Despite the societal, rule that women are supposed to be domesticated in the sense that they're the ones who are supposed to cook, clean, blah, blah. But when your partner does it, it's a guy, please appreciate him, ladies. When he makes sure that your car always has fuel, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Write little thank you notes, on his briefcase, his wallet, on the fridge door, on the bathroom door, on his toothbrush. Be inventive. Find nice ways to appreciate your men. I promise you it's going to help you. So yeah, men won't commit when they don't feel appreciated. Point number 8, competition stroke intimidation. Oh, I love this one. And I'm going to read it for you. Now, this may be a subtle kind of intimidation. Generally, this is when a man's woman seems to have everything going for her. She can get and do what she wants when she wants, but for him, it's a struggle. And, I recall in my relationship, now this is a pause. In my relationship, I remember there's a time when I took my partner to a clothing store and I wanted to buy clothes for myself. Emphasis on I wanted to buy clothes for myself. And I don't mean that in a bad way. You understand why I'm putting emphasis on that statement. So we get into the store and I'm trying on the clothes and I'm asking, so babe, what does this look like? Is this okay? Those kind of cute questions. All I got was disinterest. Disinterest. Next thing it's like, yeah, no, you just do what makes you happy. It wasn't do whatever you want. It was a do what makes you happy. If you like it, no, it's fine. There wasn't like a, I don't think that really is good for you type thing. It's scrolling on the phone and stuff like that. And I'm like, but if you didn't want, then I take it that you didn't want to be there. So I'm like, but if you didn't want to come, then you should have said so. You need to understand that when a person is unemployed, or even if they're employed, if your income brackets are different, it becomes a problem if you don't know how to iron it out between the two of you. So as a result, he feels intimidated that you do what you want when you want it, and you can get what you want when you want it, and you can do what you want when you want to do it. And I use do, the last one, the latter, very mildly. And when it comes to him, it's very difficult because either he's unemployed or his income doesn't allow him to do the things that he wants to do. So it's a kind of competition. Well, my baby bought a car and I want to get a car. Or my baby got traded and bought a better car and I want to do that, but I can't because I can't afford the car payments. So it's like a competition, which should be a healthy one. But instead, it now turns into a very powerful form of intimidation. He feels intimidated by you because you're doing and achieving these things that he can't. That's where it's a problem. The other reason is when you guys go out to a restaurant, and I've done this a couple of times, oh, not even a couple, millions of times. You go out to a restaurant and you're the one who's regularly paying, it's intimidating for a man. And if it's intimidating for a man because he can't provide what you want when you want it. And sometimes you can be so innocent in it. And like, babe, I crave a chocolate. Then he may say, unfortunately, I don't have money for a chocolate. Then like, no, don't worry, it's fine, I got it. You meant it. You really meant wow, because you genuinely understand that he doesn't have the money, and you just want it. You go and you get it, but you don't know how he feels or how you going out to get what you want made him feel, because now he feels inadequate and he feels like, I can't provide this for her, and it's such a small thing that I can't even do for her. What's the point? That means this chick doesn't need me because she does everything on her own, and I hardly contribute, if at all. So why does she need me? Then he won't commit. He won't commit to that relationship because you're above what he can provide for you, which is an issue. And I know a few couples where the woman earns a way more than the husband or the boyfriend. You really have to have honest conversations. Unfortunately, women, you cannot control, no matter how much you say, no, but babe, it's fine, I understand. It's a male thing. You can never understand. We can never understand how they feel when they cannot provide what we ask for. They really, it bashes them. It bashes their ego. It bashes their pride. You can really see them taking a blow and a dent to themselves when they can't provide simple things for their partners. So that can contribute to a man not committing to you in a relationship when he can't provide the simplest of things for you. And there's an intimidation, he can't get it. And sometimes, even if it's career, you may excel in your career, you may progress at astronomical speeds, and he just is struggling to get by. You can feel intimidated, and I felt that. I went through that in my previous relationship. I went through that. It was just crazy. No matter how much I explained, I understand, and I try to be sympathetic, and then you have the mothering kind of role where you want to just mother the whole situation and make it go away. Sorry, honey, it's not going to go away. This is how men feel. If they truly feel that they should be providers, then that's what they should be. And when they can't, they don't see the necessity of their purpose in the relationship, of them being in that relationship. Then that way, that's going to make them not commit to that. It's as pure and as simple as that. They won't commit if they cannot provide. They'll feel a certain amount of competition and intimidation. So ladies, that one was pointer number, 8. So we're moving on to pointer number 9, and we're getting close to the end. Point number 9 says he's just content living the way you guys are as boyfriend and girlfriend. There's no talk of marriage. There's no talk of children. None of the serious talk. He won't talk about it. He's just happy coming into the house and finding you alone there and just, plopping himself on the couch. Hey, babe, what's for dinner? Or, babe, we're eating out. And then you think, I want to cook. Or, I was thinking of something more, okay, let me move on to a better example. Maybe you want to get a bigger place. And he's very fine with his bachelor pad. He doesn't see any reason for us getting 2 or 3 more bedrooms. And, these are things as well, ladies, that you can use to ask and ascertain where a man is at in his life, for you to find out whether he's happy or he intends doing, expanding his thoughts or his goals or achievements. Ask these questions. They're very important because they will help you know where you stand in the relationship. So if he's just content living that bachelor boy life, having his boys over for beers, and you're like, babe, I think we are more than that, we should be doing 1, 2, 3, it becomes a problem. It really becomes a problem. So, he doesn't see the necessity of putting himself in a pressuring type of relationship, which is a commitment, which is leading into marriage. He just doesn't see it, and he doesn't want the stress or the drama of being in a marriage if there is drama. And unfortunately, most guys don't communicate this very important point. I think it's a very difficult point for men to express. I mean, really trying to put myself in a man's shoes and just to tell my woman who's so deeply in love with me and wants me to marry her. And I have to tell her, babe, I see where you're at, but I'm not there. And I really am very happy with the relationship the way it is. And she's obviously going to say, are you serious? For how long? And I don't have a time frame as a dude. I can't tell her how long. Sometimes reverse the roles, ladies. It's a difficult thing to tell somebody, to say, I'm not, it's very few men. And those men that are very honest, I really commend you. I promise you. I commend you for telling the truth, because at least you give the woman the decision to stay in it or to leave. You know, it's a difficult conversation to have. I must brutally be honest, but the thing is, it has to be had. You cannot live your lives just assuming the thing will go away, because women are home builders. We are nurturers. We are mothers. Excuse me. If I see a potential in a man that I want to be my husband, I want the relationship to take the next step. Now, if this man that I'm interested in is not taking that next step, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem, and I will ask questions. Men, you must understand this. We as women will ask you questions, but babe, don't you think we should take this to the next step? Babe, don't you think it's time we had children? You know, as a result, if a man is content with the boyfriend-girlfriend setup, he's not going to commit to you. He's not going to commit to you to the level of marriage that you are looking for as a woman. If he's content. And sometimes, ladies, you don't even have to ask the question. Sometimes just monitor. Just really look closely at the relationship you guys are having and notice the conversations you guys have. And you can ascertain a man's growth in life by asking him questions, particularly his goal questions. If you ask him his goal questions and see if you are kind of put in that picture. If you are not, continue prodding until you get a point of clarity where you realize, I'm in this picture or I'm not in this picture. It's very important that you have these conversations. Otherwise, you're going to waste valuable time with somebody who probably is not interested in marrying you. And you're going to waste the opportunity that you have, that you should be giving other guys to take a shot at giving you the life that you want and the life that you deserve. So ladies, that is point number 9. If a man is content with where he is at that particular time, he's not going to commit to you to the level of marriage. And finally, number 10, he is not quite at the level that he would like to be at in life. So a few men I've spoken to believe that they have to be at a certain stage, especially financially, to have a serious relationship with their partners. So you're a somewhat comparison as they try, or rather you're a somewhat companion as they try to achieve what they want. Either it's a house or it's a car. And in reality, sometimes things are required in a union. So wanting to get everything may not necessarily be the best idea. Wanting to get everything before you commit may not necessarily be the best idea. You know, I know people who have finished their education in a marriage. I know people who have purchased their first car in a marriage. I know people who've purchased their first house in a marriage. Sometimes we give ourselves these goals, and I must attribute this to the pressures of society. Because you must achieve this by this age and this age and this age and this age. Long ago, by the time you were 30, if you were not married as a woman, it was a problem. It was a huge problem that you were 30 and you're not married. There was something wrong with you, not with the brother. Now, old school people still kind of have that mindset. I must be married by the time I'm 30. I must have a car by the time I'm 30. I must have a house by the time I'm 30. I must have finished my qualification by the time I'm 30. And the reality is life happens. Sometimes you have financial ditches and, or financial dips. Family members pass on, relocation occurs, contributing factors can affect you not achieving the goals that you want to achieve at the age that you want to achieve them. Now, a lot of men want to get a house and want to get a car and then marry to bring the wife into that house to turn the house into a home. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that is the time frame you're giving yourself. Because what if you get retrenched and you don't find a job for the next 2-3 years, and that automatically affects the age that limit that you've put. Now, this does not take away the fact that everybody must have a goal. At least the goal is to get it. Even if it takes you long, at least your goal still stays in at the top of your mind, that I must get this, I must get this. But to tell yourself I must get this by then, and then life happens and then you want to bash yourself for it, please don't. So that's another thing men won't commit to certain women. They'd rather play because they want to play with all the women that they can and not be committed to anyone, because they're still at the top of their minds wanting to build a house, they want to buy a car, they want to finish their qualification, and all these things that are contributing or that are impacting this man's decision will make him not commit. Now, I have seen, on the other hand, I have seen men having achieved all of these things by the time they wanted to achieve them, and then they got cold feet when it came to marriage. I'll tell you why. They get cold feet because they feel that women have, women are now gold diggers. So they've worked so hard for all these years to achieve all the things that they've wanted, only to have a woman come in, marry them, and divorce within 2 years, and she walks away with half his assets. Now, when you hear some brothers sit together, you can tell that this is a genuine pain and it's a genuine fear that they have when it comes to, being committed in a relationship. Or, so most of them, as a result, if they're not at the stage they're at, that they want to be at, they will not commit to you, ladies. They will not commit. So I've closed my book now. Those are all the contributing factors that I could think of, and some that I could relate to. And I'm sure there are a few more, or many more, that would make men, not commit to women in relationships. Sometimes even if they're not over, another contributing factor could be the fact that they're not over their ex, and they just see you as, a person that's going to while up time, hoping that their ex will change their mind and they can get a chance to get back with their ex, therefore they won't commit to you. That's another reality. And it's unfortunate if you find yourself in that kind of situation, and men will never tell you the truth to a certain extent. Real men will tell you the truth, that I cannot commit to you because I am still going through something with my ex and I'm not sure where we stand and I don't want to waste your time. If you're that kind of brother that tells that kind of story or that lays it down like that, I commend you, because when you're a mature woman, you appreciate that truth and you accept the fact that this person has told you the truth and you are able to decide what to do moving forward. At least he told you the truth and gave you the opportunity to move on with your life, rather than for you to be lurking in the background like some side chick, waiting for him to hopefully change his mind. And if he doesn't, what if he does change his mind, actually gets over the ex, and you aren't the person he wants to move on with, it's somebody else. I will always, I'm an advocate for the truth. I'm really, truly an advocate for the truth. And I pray that this, how long am I in? An hour, over an hour. About an hour and 10 minutes. I hope that this was really powerful content for you. It was fun for me to sit down and, pen this down and think, what are the contributing factors that men won't commit? So in the next video, hopefully, that I'll record, I'll be talking about how we commit to men, how we contribute to men not committing to us in relationships, because sometimes as women, we do have a hand in men not committing to us in relationships. The stuff that we do, ladies, sometimes we be cray cray. Okay, we be cray cray. And, men are like, okay, she's extra and I cannot handle that. So I hope you were empowered. I really hope you were. I'm glad there really wasn't that much distraction this time. Yay! I'm very happy about that. So this brings me to an end of my video. And may God continue to open your eyes. May God continue to fill you with wisdom. May God continue to fill you with strength as you make the right decisions to become a better version of yourself, which is what I'm an advocate for. In all of this, Make sure that you concentrate on yourself. Heal from every past pain. Move on from every pain that was ever done. It's not an easy thing. I'm not telling you as if it's something that you do like that. No, it's a process. And trust that God is walking with you in that process. Trust that God is working with you in the process of being a better version of yourself. This is Intimate Conversations with Francis O'Brien, a healing one heart at a time. As I always request, please, if somebody who knows sign language, please record a little video and email it to me. I will make sure that I leave my email address in the description box below so that you can give me a video as to how to record healing one heart at a time. May God bless you. Once again, Happy Women's Day! Happy Women's Day! You know what I'm going to do when I'm done with this? I am going to make myself a peppermint tart. Hopefully you should look out for it on my Instagram. I'll probably post a picture of it. Not too long ago, I actually posted a picture of a strawberry mousse cake. Oh, that was really divine. It was divine. But anyway, enough pranking around. Have a wonderful week, and I'll be making sure that I'll try and record another video as soon as possible because I want to keep that content rolling. Stay blessed, rather, I rephrase. Be blessed, stay blessed, always. Mwah!